Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm so glad you're here for our Monday Healing Steps Facebook Live in the Bridge to Healing community. Now, if this is your first time joining us, welcome. I'm Janine Naus, your grief and trauma relief specialist, and my mission is to help you heal from the wounds of trauma and reconnect with your inner strength. I truly appreciate you being here with us today. So if you're watching live, feel free to drop a heart in the comments so I can say hello. And if you're catching the replay, type pound replay so I know that you stopped by. Okay, so today we're talking about something so many of us have struggled with, and that's the difference between being strong and silently suffering inside. Now, have you ever heard, "You're so strong," while inside you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world alone? Now, I see this all the time, especially with those who have experienced deep shame and guilt. Now, you've learned to hold it all in, to carry your pain quietly, because somewhere along the way, you were taught that strength means bearing it alone. But here's the truth. Real strength isn't about how much suffering you can endure. It's actually about how much healing you allow yourself to receive. Now, let's go ahead and dive into this together today. So, I'm going to share three powerful teaching points to help you break free from the silent suffering and step into a life of self compassion, healing, and true strength. And stick with me until the end because I have a simple yet powerful tool to help you release guilt and shame that you can use immediately. So, society often tells us that being strong means pushing through, never asking for help, and hiding our struggles behind a brave face. But let's pause for a moment. What if real strength isn't about how much you can endure, but about how much healing you allow yourself to receive? Now, think about this. If you had a deep wound on your arm, wouldn't would you just ignore it and hope it heals on its own? No. You would clean it, bandage it, and take care of it so it doesn't get worse. And you wouldn't judge yourself for needing care, right? But when it comes to emotional wounds, we often do the opposite. We hold it in, we suppress it, and we tell ourselves we should be able to handle it alone. Now, shame and guilt thrive in silence, and the longer we keep them hidden, the more they weigh us down. Now, I want to ask you something. Have you ever felt like admitting your pain would make you feel weak? What held you back from sharing it with someone? Maybe it was fear of being judged. Maybe you didn't want to burden others. Or maybe you told yourself, I should be strong enough to deal with this on my own. Now, I've been there too, and I used to believe that if I let people see my pain, they would think I was weak, or worse, that they would confirm the things I already feared about myself. But I learned something powerful. True strength isn't found in suffering alone, it's found in allowing yourself to be supported. Now, healing is not a solo journey. Strength comes from being vulnerable enough to say, I need help. I need to talk about this. I deserve to heal. It takes courage to step out of isolation and allow yourself to receive the care, understanding, and support that you would so readily give to someone else. So drop a heart in the comments if you're ready to shift the way you see strength today. Because strength isn't just about holding it all together, it's about knowing when to release what no longer serves you. And that is the first step toward healing. Now, one of the biggest reasons we suffer in silence is because we believe the shame and guilt we carry say something about who we are. And we don't just see them as emotions, we mistake them for the truth about ourselves. But I'd like for you to listen carefully. Shame is not your identity. Guilt is not your identity. They are emotions, painful, overwhelming emotions, but they are not who you are. And if you ever told yourself, I should have done more, it's my fault, I don't deserve to forgive myself, then I want you to challenge those thoughts today. Because guilt is an emotion, not a life sentence. Shame is a learned response, not a truth about who you are. I want you to think about a time when you felt shame or guilt weighing you down. Maybe it was a past mistake, something you regret, or even something you weren't responsible for, but still blamed yourself for. And when you think about that moment, what does it make you believe about yourself? Often, when we feel guilt, we don't just think, I did something bad. We think, I am bad. And when we feel shame, excuse me, when we feel shame, we don't just think, I made a mistake. We think, I am a mistake. So, do you see the difference? Shame and guilt distort the way we see ourselves, and they attach themselves to our identity when in reality, they are just emotional experiences. Experiences that, like any other emotion, can be processed, healed, and released. But if we let them define us, they will keep us trapped in the past, and they will keep us from moving forward, from growing, from believing we are worthy of love and forgiveness. Now, go ahead and drop yes in the comments if you ever felt like shame or guilt had held you back from being your full, authentic self. Now, here's the truth I want you to take with you today. You are not the things you regret. You are not the mistakes you've made. You are not what happened to you. Yes, you may have made mistakes. Yes, you may have regrets, but those things do not define you. You are allowed to grow beyond them. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to forgive yourself. And you don't have to carry this weight alone. So comment, I am ready if you're open to releasing the shame and guilt that no longer serve you. See, the strongest thing you can do is allow yourself to heal. Letting go of guilt and shame isn't about pretending the past didn't happen. It's about choosing not to let it define you anymore. And that takes courage. Healing requires self-awareness, self-compassion, and the willingness to release the pain you've been holding on to. And I know that can feel scary because sometimes we convince ourselves that holding on to guilt is a form of accountability, that if we release it, we're somehow saying that what happened didn't matter or that we don't care. But listen to me. Healing is not forgetting. Healing is not excusing. Healing is choosing to move forward with love and understanding for yourself. So, one of the most powerful tools to help release guilt and shame is called self-compassionate reframing. And this is how we begin to shift our inner dialogue from self-judgment to self-acceptance. So here's how it works. Now, in step one, we want to recognize the belief. So what is the guilt or shame saying to you? What words do you repeat in your mind when you think about your past? So, for example, I failed and I'll never be good enough. So many of us carry these deeply ingrained beliefs that tell us we are broken, undeserving, or not enough. But those are not facts. They are just thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. And step two, reframe it with self-compassion. So what would you say to a friend who came to you with the same struggle? How can you shift this belief to reflect truth instead of judgment? So, for example, I made a mistake, but I'm learning and growing every day. Can you feel the difference? And one statement traps you in shame, the other acknowledges growth and healing. So, in step three, speak it out loud. When we say our new belief out loud, we reinforce it. So, let's go ahead and try this together. I am worthy of healing. I am worthy of forgiveness. Now I want you to comment below what's one belief you're ready to reframe today. This is where the work begins. Releasing shame and guilt is an act of strength, not weakness. It means you are choosing healing over self-punishment. It means you are choosing to be kind to yourself instead of tearing yourself down. And most importantly, it means you are choosing to believe that you are worthy of peace, forgiveness, and freedom. So drop a heart, in the comments if you are ready to release what no longer serves you and step into self-compassion today. See, my hope for you today is that you walk away knowing that true strength is allowing yourself to heal, not just endure. You do not have to suffer in silence. You do not have to carry the shame and guilt forever. You deserve self compassion, freedom, and forgiveness. And if this spoke to you today, I want to invite you to take the next step. I'm offering a no fee session to release shame and cultivate self worth, where we'll focus on one area where shame or guilt is holding you back and create a personalized strategy to release it and rebuild your self worth. So go ahead and click in the comments to schedule your free session. And if you haven't yet, download the free workbook I created just for you. Releasing Shame and Guilt, Foster Self-Compassion and Forgiveness. Now it's filled with powerful exercises to help you continue this work. So drop a heart in the comments if you're committed to showing yourself more self-compassion today. I want to thank you so much for being here. And remember, you are strong, not because you suffer in silence, but because you are brave enough to heal. I believe in you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day.